stairhead bearing a bowl of lather on which a mirror and a razor lay crossed. Stately, plump Buck Mulligan came from the stairhead bearing a bowl of lather on which a mirror and a razor lay crossed. A yellow dressing gown, ungirdled, was sustained gently behind him by the mild morning air. He held the bowl aloft and intoned, "In troibo ad altere Dei." You can see by line 5 here, he's got Latin in there. I did take some Latin in high school, and I know that in troibo ad altere Dei means something about God entering to the altar or something like that. Probably a lot of people will know Dei is God, maybe, or maybe not. Do I need to go look that up when I read it? No, not at all. Just make the best guess you can and keep on rolling. Stately, plump Buck Mulligan came from the stairhead bearing a bowl of lather on which a mirror and a razor lay crossed. A yellow dressing gown, ungirdled, was sustained gently behind him by the mild morning air. He held the bowl aloft and intoned, "In troibo ad altere Dei." Halted, he peered down the dark, winding stairs and called up coarsely, "Come, Kinch, come up, you fearful Jesuit." Solemnly he came forward and mounted the round gun rest. He faced about and blessed gravely thrice the tower, the surrounding country, and the awakening mountains. Then, catching sight of Stephen Dedalus, he bent towards him and made rapid crosses in the air, gurgling in his throat and shaking his head. Stephen Dedalus, displeased and sleepy, leaned his arms on top of the staircase and looked coldly at the shaking, gurgling face that blessed him, equine in its length. You can see in these first couple paragraphs that there's a lot of humor. The gurgling face that blessed him, equine in its length. Okay, you might need to know what equine is. That might be worth looking up, because that means he's horse-faced. Stephen Dedalus, displeased and sleepy, leaned his arms on top of the staircase and looked coldly at the shaking, gurgling face that blessed him, equine in its length, and at the light, untonsured hair, grained and hued like pale oak. That's the first couple paragraphs of James Joyce, Ulysses. Very funny and fun. And that's how James Joyce said it should be taken. He said there's not a serious line in this whole book, and people are going to take it seriously, and they have. People get into the fact that it was modeled after the Odyssey, and so it's got a whole structure to it, and people get all into it. It's just, he's just having fun through the whole thing, all 1,000 pages of it. And that's how it needs to be read, for fun, to get whatever fun you can out of it and keep going through. Buck Mulligan peeped an instant under the mirror, then covered the bowl smartly. "Back to barracks," he said sternly. He added in a preacher's tone, "For this, oh dearly beloved, is the genuine Christine, body and soul and blood and ounds. Slow music, please. Shut your eyes, gents. One moment. A little trouble about those white corpuscles. Silence all." He peered sideways up and gave a long, low whistle of call, then paused a while in rapt attention, his even white teeth glistening here and there with gold points. Chrysostomos. 2 strong, shrill whistles answered through the calm. Thanks, old chap, he cried briskly. That will do nicely. Switch off the current, will you? He skipped off the gun rest and looked gravely at his watcher, gathering about his legs the loose folds of his gown. The plump, shadowed face and sullen oval jowl recalled a prelate, patron of arts in the Middle Ages. A pleasant smile broke quietly over his lips. The mockery of it, he said gaily. Your absurd name, an ancient Greek. He pointed his finger in friendly jest and went over to the parapet, laughing to himself. Salman Rushdie, the novelist, described Ulysses this way in one sentence. He said, a middle-aged, cuckolded Jewish advertising salesman walks around Dublin for the day, leches after a club-footed girl at the beach, goes to red light district, gets even more drunk, meets young guy, brings him home in the middle of the night, maybe tries to pimp out his wife to young guy. The end. That's the plot of the book. And Rushdie's point was not much actually happens in real time in the book. It's all description and flights of fancy and flights of references to other things. And it's all in fun and in the interest of comedy and entertaining the reader. And it does. And you don't have to catch everything. You just keep reading and finding something to get interested in it, because there's plenty there. If one page is not doing it, get through it and find something on the next page. Let's pick a random spot and just read another passage. I'm just going to flip through, Here's the beginning of a little section, and I don't even know what chapter. I don't even know who's talking. I was just passing the time of day with old Troy of the DMP at the corner of... This will be Leopold Bloom, who is the main character that Rushdie described there in the quote. He's a Jewish, not an artist, a salesman, and he's walking through Dublin and just observing things and having thoughts. That's most of what Ulysses is. So, I was just passing the time of day with old Troy of the DMP at the corner of Arbor Hill there, and be damned but a bloody sweep came along and he near drove his gear into my eye. I turned around to let him have the weight of my tongue, when who should I see dodging along Stony Batter? Only Joe Hines. "Lo, Joe," says I, "how are you blowing? Did you see that bloody chimney sweep near shove my eye out with his brush?" "Soot's luck," says Joe. "Who's the old bollocks you were talking to?" "Old Troy," says I, "was in the force. I'm on two minds not to give that fellow in charge for obstructing the thoroughfare with his brooms and ladders." "What are you doing round those parts?" says Joe. "Devil a much," says I. "There is a bloody big foxy thief beyond by the Garrison Church at the corner of Chicken Lane. Old Troy was just giving me a wrinkle about him. Lifted any god's quantity of tea and sugar to pay $3 a week, said he. $3 a week. Said he had a farm in the county down off a hop of my thumb by the name of Moses Herzog over there near Hedgesbury Street." "Circumcised," says Joe. "Aye," says I, "a bit off the top. An old plumber named Garrity. I'm hanging on to his taw now for the past fortnight, and I can't a penny out of him." "That the lay you're on now?" says Joe. "Aye," says I. "How are the mighty fallen, collector of bad and doubtful debts? But that's the most notorious bloody robber you'd meet in a day's walk, and the face on him all pockmarks would hold a shower of rain. Tell him," says he, "I dare him," says he, "and I double dare him to send you round here again if he does," says he. "I'll have him summonsed up before the court, so will I, for trading without a license." And he, after stuffing himself till he's fit to burst. Jesus, I had to laugh at the little Jewy getting his shirt out. "He drink me my teas, he eat me my sugars, because he no pay me my monies." Every page is like that. It's hilarious. Now, there is a point I think there's a lot of depth to Ulysses that, and I'm not sure it's even commonly picked up on. I have my own ideas about the deeper side of it, and I think I'm going to do another video on that. But the real point is the humor. Every page will make you laugh, and it's smart humor. You know, it's just good entertainment. It's just daily life in Dublin. You know, stream of consciousness. He's walking through. It's a lot of little details, and it's just very funny. And that's how to read Ulysses. Laugh, keep going, and enjoy it.